Stanford White, a renowned architect whose name is often synonymous with both brilliance and darkness, stood as the most famous architect in the city of New York. His clients and friends were among the era's elite. But one fateful day, as he attended a musical theater performance, he was shot. So, who was his killer? What were the events that led to his demise? And what turned his murder trial into the trial of the century? Stanford White was born on November 9, 1853 in the heart of New York City, and was a man of incredible contradictions. Some remember him as the brilliant architect behind countless iconic structures, while others recall him for his dark and scandalous personal life. Stanford White's father, Richard Grant White, was a renowned Shakespearean scholar and essayist. With such connections, White was destined for a life in high society. He skipped college and at just 17 began his architectural journey under the guidance of Henry Hobson Richardson. Fast forward to 1879, and White had joined forces with Charles Follen McKim and William Rutherford Mead in New York City. Together, they formed the architectural powerhouse known as McKim, Mead, and White. Between 1879 and 1915, his firm designed more than 900 of hotels, private clubs, libraries, museums, universities, churches, and even casinos. But here's where the story takes a twist. While White's architectural achievements were impressive, his personal life was lavish and scandalous. He resided in an opulent apartment within the Madison Square Garden. Many beautiful young women, mainly those struggling financially, frequented his den, and some argue that his motives were far from honorable. Enter Evelyn Nesbit, a young model and society figure who became entangled with Stanford White. Their affair was the stuff of tabloids, and White's sudden end to their relationship left Evelyn heartbroken. In 1905, she married Harry Kendall Thaw, a Pittsburgh millionaire with a history of severe mental instability. But here's where the plot thickens. Harry Kendall Thaw had been following White for some time and was jealous of White's acceptance in society and thought of White as his rival. But, well before he was killed, White had moved on to other young women as lovers. White considered Thaw a poseur of little consequence and categorized him as a clown, once calling him the Pennsylvania Pug, a reference to Thaw's baby-faced features. The day is June 25, 1906. White had no reason to suspect that his life was in danger, as he attended a musical theater performance at his very own Madison Square Garden. It was there that Harry Thaw approached him and, in a fit of rage, shot White 3 times at point-blank range, ending the life of the 52-year-old architect. But what was Thaw's motive? Some speculate that it was jealousy over shared affections for Evelyn Nesbit, while others argue it was simply an irrational fixation on White. During Thaw's trial, shocking revelations came to light. On the witness stand, Evelyn Nesbit told in the minutest detail the history of White's pursuit of her. She was just a teenager at the time and had been lured into White's apartment and subjected to drugging and essay. Astonishingly, on February 1, 1908, Harry Thaw was acquitted by reason of insanity and sent to a mental institution. White was laid to rest near his Box Hill estate, a place that would later reveal its own dark secrets. Despite the scandal and tragedy, Stanford White left behind a legacy of architectural brilliance. His firm, McKim, Mead, and White designed iconic structures such as the Astor, Tiffany, and Vanderbilt mansions, the New York Herald Building, and the Washington Square Arch. But beneath this dazzling facade lay dark secrets. White had a history of luring young girls into his Manhattan apartment, where unspeakable acts occurred. Many of his victims were young and vulnerable, trapped by his power and charm. And there you have it, the tale of Stanford White, a brilliant architect whose life was marred by scandal, obsession, and murder. It's a story that reminds us that even the most celebrated figures can have hidden depths and dark secrets. Thank you for joining us on this case. Until next time, your host Mia signing off.